Hey guys, welcome back to Susan Shares. I've got a visitor. Hey Steve.
Morning. How is everyone?
Well, it's today what we're going to talk about is I was prompted to do a Susan Shares on something kind of special to both of us, so I thought I'd invite Steve. Celebrate magazine asked me to do an article periodically, and it was on leadership, and it prompted me to think about one time I was asked posed a question, what is your biblical worldview? And it really took me on a spiritual journey. And then I also asked Steve, what is your biblical worldview? And so together we kind of came up with our own. And we came up with a verse. And you want to tell them what that verse is?
Well, it's Micah 6:8.
Yes.
Susan's got it here. She's going to read it for us. We'll talk about it some then.
Yes, Micah 6:8 is what we both came up with, and it is, what has he told you, O man? What is good, and what does the Lord require of you? But to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your Lord. And so that is actually what our biblical worldview is. To do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Three things. And it sounds so simple. It's not so simple. Because to do justice is to not love justice, but to do justice. So sometimes you have to stand up. And that means you have to be okay with others not being okay with you sometimes. And because not everybody has your same view of what justice is.
Things may not be fair, but we need to pursue justice, and we really need to look out for those that have more trouble looking out for themselves. So if you have the ability to help the poor or the oppressed or those that don't have a voice, that's justice. And I think that's the responsibility that we would all have.
Exactly. And to be sensitive to that and to pray for God to lead you when to move in that area.
Correct.
And to love kindness is very easy until somebody's not kind to you. And then that comes into play very quickly. And so to love kindness, Steve has this saying, I guess you would call it, that sometimes you have to act your way to a feeling. And that comes into play very quickly, because at first when he said that, I thought, well, yeah, that's true. And then when you're really faced with that, it really comes into play. You may be at the grocery store. This happens to me a lot when I'm at the grocery store, and you're on a mission and you got to get home, get in and get out. And I know we've all been there. And somebody stops you and they say, Susan, I need your advice. I have got a family member that is really struggling and they're going through something really hard. Can you help me? What am I supposed to say to them to get them out? They're going through a divorce. They're going through something or whatever. And I'm really needing to get in and out. And I am in my mind going, I need to love kindness. In order to love kindness, you need to be kind. So it comes into play of what you always say.
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
you have to act your way to a feeling.
You have to act your way to a feeling, not feel your way to an action, is the complete kind of saying as it goes. Some translations have to love mercy rather than kindness. And so I often think about, meekness in the Bible, I think is something that's not understood very well, that it's really strength under control. So how do you be strong but control it? Well, to show mercy and kindness, I think one of those things where you have to step back and put yourself in place and reach out to others is part of what that is.
So in other words, it's not about us. It's about Jesus in us. So you take yourself out of the equation and then you take a deep breath, and then it's easy to love kindness because it's not about you. It's about the person in front of you.
What about walking humbly with your God?
Walking humbly with your God. Boy, you have to stay connected to the vine. And I'm always saying that on Susan Shares, but it is so true here, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, it's always keeping ourselves in perspective. We can easily let self-centeredness get the best of us. So to walk humbly with our God. There is someone that's out there looking for us, that's put things in order. And if we'll humble ourselves and be a part of what he's up to, we're always going to find ourselves on the right path.
Yes, there's no pride in that. So staying connected to the vine, connected to his word, connected to him always. There's no pride in that. And he will reveal what our next step is if we're asking him and seeking him. So we wanted to share that with you because it's a great question that was posed to me out of the blue. What is your biblical worldview? And so maybe that's a good question for our viewers today. What is your biblical worldview? And then staying in check, keeping pulse of that daily. So have a great day. Love you. Bye-bye.